As you know, I'm a huge Vijay fan. அவரோட படங்கள் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஷோ போயிட்டு எனக்கு விசில் அடிக்க தெரியாது, ஸோ ஒரு 3 பேரை கூட்டிகிட்டு போயிட்டு அவங்கள எங்கே அடிங்க விசில் அடிங்க அந்த மாதிரி பார்த்தா ஒரு கேண்டிடேட் ஐ ஆம். Doing a period film is a dream for me. It was such a difficult period making this film. இது எப்படி ஓடாது, இது ஓடுற படமாச்சே, இது மக்களுக்கு பிடிக்குமே அப்படின்னு தான் நான் என் மைண்டில் ஓடிட்டுருக்கோம். இது தமிழில் ஒர்க்கே ஆகாது, ஹிந்தியில் உனக்கு ஷேர் இருக்கா சசி அப்படின்னு கேட்டுட்டு இருந்தாப்புல. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி யூ ஹேவ் so many creatures who are dissing that film and finally what do? It's running in B&C more than even A. Every other day. And amma in a biopic. Biopic was a bad word at that time. It's post Surya Potter biopic is not bad. You have an Amaran coming after that. I'm putting contracts saying that this will release theatrically, not OTT. Adu pottadan that was like a deal breaker. You need one good failure, and from there, then there's no looking back. We were waiting for almost 3 hours or 4 hours without shooting because the hair was just not sitting right. So for me, என் படம் should get the best date. என் படம் ஓடணும், என் படம் காசு பண்ணணும், என் முதலாளிக்கு நான் காசு பண்ணி கொடுக்கணும். I mean, he's the biggest star in the country, really. நானே FDFS அந்த படம் போய் பார்ப்பேன்.
Mritu towels from Ramraj, premium cotton and bamboo towels. Super soft, super absorbent.
Darling Solar 20500 முன்பணத்தில் இப்பொழுது சோலார் மூலம் இலவச மின்சாரம். This festive season, travel the world with Grand Royal Tours.
Hello Sudha.
Hi Daddy.
How are you?
I'm not well. I have a cold, cough and everything.
எனக்கு எதுவும் தந்துடாதீங்க.
Okay. I told you to wear a mask and come. You didn't.
No, but I can't உங்கள மாதிரி what is this thing with the mask? It's like even at the audio launch கூட you're wearing a mask. And what is the reason?
I was already unwell at that point of time. And actually I have a kind of post-COVID.
Oh.
I got COVID thrice. And the third time was really bad. I couldn't even just get up.
And இது சொல்வாங்களே long COVID அதுவா?
I got that. And that was the third wave, which was very mild for everybody. But I got the second wave thing in the third wave. Whatever I don't remember. All I know is it was really bad. So I'm a little worried from there on in crowded spaces. So because I feel my immunity is a little low. And then I'm always stressed. So when you're stressed, your immunity falls. So then I'm just trying to protect myself and protect people.
So we are in Maniratnam's old house, which is become your office. So அந்த ஈக்குவேஷனை கொஞ்சம் டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணால் your AD கீர்த்திஸ்வரன் அவர் டூட் பண்ணியிருக்காரு. What did you tell him when you...
So the tragedy of my life is whole of 2025 I didn't watch a single film that's released.
Okay.
I was supposed to go for Kirti's audio launch. I was supposed to, except for seeing his trailer, I think even that I saw after like 2 months when I got a little free because it was such a difficult period making this film. Like we were stalling, we were then running, and our date was always Pongal. So that date didn't change, but everything else inside was changing. So and when Kirti was releasing his film, I was in Hyderabad shooting. I was shooting my climax and my interval. So I could not see it. Now it's come on OTT. I still haven't got the time to see it. I mean, Mari's film, I've been really wanting to watch Bison. I haven't been able to watch it. So I've kept everything for post-release of this film. I'll not get out of my house for 10 days and I'm just going to watch. And, but Kirti's film has done very well. It's a blockbuster. He's my first AD to go out there and give a blockbuster. And
is there a feeling of pride?
Yeah.
Motherly pride or whatever?
No motherly pride and all. It's like one professional pride. Like, okay, here comes another champ. Here comes another person into the ring. Right. And he's learnt well and he's done well. So it's a fabulous thing, really.
Yeah.
It feels more precious than if you succeed. Because you've seen them. You've really seen them as kids, really. 6 years with me and... so it feels good, whichever AD.
So, it's an odd question to ask in Maniratnam's house, but you're a very strong believer in God. Ever since Parasakthi was announced, and I made a list of the things that kind of happened, right? It was Joe Monty John, that didn't happen. Nazriya was supposed to be there, that didn't happen. Surya was supposed to be there, that didn't happen. Vijay Antony had the title, something, that was a struggle. You got stuck in Sri Lanka. Ravi K had health issues during a major schedule, so something else had to happen. Then there's this plagiarism controversy. Then there's this, there are so many things. This film, I think, no film is easy. But this particular film, it's as if everything was thrown at you. Like, so when you pray and when you believe in this higher power protecting you, and when so many things go wrong, how do you take it? Do you think that God is testing you, or how do you take it? Do you sometimes feel like, why is all this happening to me when I'm such a strong believer?
Yeah, I mean that goes through the head of believers and non-believers. It's always like, why me? Why me? But then I would say, why not me? I once spoke to a friend, very young, she got cancer, and she was forever, she was like, why me? Why me? Why me? One day she was just passing by a road where there was a temple and a church, and she saw a lot of beggars, and a lot of them were lepers and people who were so unfortunate in life. And then she said, why not me? And she taught me that. And that's what I questioned. But yeah, it's difficult. I mean, why not me? Why me? Pakatala vechalum. And then I don't lose faith. I've been through worse. In all those 20, 25 years haven't been really peachy. But you get through.
Right. Anyway, speaking of years, Drohi was 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So last year was your 15th year.
Yeah.
As a
director.
As a director.
Mm-hmm.
So belated congratulations.
Thank you.
How has this been, this
journey?
I mean, I'm sure you've had lots of high points, but as a whole, Patingana, how was it?
So I think it was Walt Disney who said, right, you need one good failure to teach you. I think it was Walt Disney, or was it? My trivia is very poor. I just read the quote and that stays, and who said it doesn't come.
Right. But the quote is what's important. So
the quote is either Disney, Walt Disney, or either it's Clint Eastwood, or somebody said that. All you need, you have a huge big failure, and from there, then there's no looking back. You really need that right on top of your career, and that's how I started. So
you're talking about
Drohi. Yes. See, if you're talking about my schooling in film, I've had the best, really the best. Because not just because he's a great master filmmaker, it's also because he's a great producer. He knows his economics, he knows his art. So, and we were dealing with both, which is rare. So, but once I made my first film, it was not all rosy. And then for 6 years, the gap that happens, I wanted to leave cinema. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. If not for Bijoy Nambiar, who's my very good friend, I was going to start organic farming because I really like farming. I like restaurants, something. But then he saw me like that. And then I just told him, not even a not, less than a concept about Irdi Sutra. It was called Zara back then. It was about a Muslim girl. And he was so excited. He said, so this is the film you should be making. If you're making this, I'll produce it for you and all of that. He had come to edit his film, Shaitan. So I was like, yeah, no, I don't know, kind of thing. And then I go to, then he calls me. He says, I need a second unit, somebody to take care of it for me. Can you come over? And all of that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go help somebody and all of that. And I go, ange paatha, ellame organized, everything organized. He was just pulling me back into cinema. And the mad energy of Bombay and them shooting through 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it was so, that energy, it pulled me back in, it sucked me back in. I met Maddie then, because Maddie's a very good friend. So he lives just behind Bijoy's house. So I go, I meet him, and he was saying, what are you doing next and everything. So I said, இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு idea இருக்கு, அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு idea இருக்கு. Then he said, just shut up. This idea, this is your calling card, just do it. I said, you'll do it. He said, you write the script and come if I like it, I'll do it. And that's how that journey started. That was, it gave me so much, Irdi Sutra that way. It was not an easy film again. Because again, my producer was in a lot of difficulties at that point of time because of his earlier release. So far, I don't think any film has been easy. Because to me, on paper and otherwise, my films look very mainstream, very, இது எப்படி ஓடாது, இது ஓடுற படமாச்சே, இது மக்களுக்கு பிடிக்குமே அப்படின்னு தான் நான் என் மைண்டில் ஓடிட்டுருக்கோம். But everyone who reads it or who's producing it or something, for them it's always like 50-50 or even, enna avumo theriyadu. Like my best friend, I remember Milinda had shown the first cut of I think first or some cut of Irdi Sutru, and he came and he's my well-wisher and my brother's my well-wisher, they want me to succeed like crazy. And அந்த படம் பார்த்து அவனும் மை பிரதர் ரெண்டு பேரும் படம் பார்த்து என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னா, சூப்பர், இட்ஸ் ஸோ ஹாப்பி, மை பிரதர் பாட் மீ அ கார் அண்ட் ஆல் தட் வித்வுட் ரிலீஸ் நத்திங், ஹீ ஜஸ்ட் வாஸ் ப்ரவுட். அண்ட் மிலிந்த் வாஸ் லைக், அந்த பொண்ணு கேரக்டர் இஸ் ஸோ அவுட் ஆஃப் தி ஆர்டினரி. ஒன்று மக்களுக்கு பிடிக்கும், இல்லை மக்கள் வில் ஹேட் தட். And my brother said the same thing. Akka, this film, I think it will run in the A centers. It's a very multiplex film. BC, no chance. And these are people who want me to succeed, So, abdi irukumbodhu the producers, everybody is thinking, like there was one idiot friend of my producers who kept telling him, like, idu Tamil la work avadu. Avan or hero vera. Idu Tamil la work avadu, Hindi la unku share irukka Shashi appdin ketittu irundapla. So, and the matter, you have so many creatures who are dissing that film. And finally, what do? It's running in B and C more than even A. So I'm always battling that, because run of the mill illa. A female boxer entradhu vandu, it's not really a run of the mill thing. But what people forget and what people probably are not analyzing in my film is, it is a story of an underdog. It is a story of rising from nothing to succeed and to get to the top despite so many hardships. Now, is that not a winning arc? Is that not what all of us fantasize about? Is that not the hope that all of us have?
I think where this question is coming from is, I completely agree with you for what it's like, because I think mainstream na chumma hero vandu adichu potu, that's not the only mainstream, right? There's many kinds of mainstream. So but I think in the logic, na nariya vaati like spoken to a lot of people, avangalukku enna varuduna, ஒரு ஹீரோ சென்ட்ரிக்கா இல்லாம, because, or at least, see, Maddie is not a hero in that. Like, as in, he's a protagonist. This girl is I mean, there are two people whose story is being told. It's not a hero story. Like, hero வந்து அவளை சேவ் பண்றான் அந்த மாதிரி கிடையாது. Because she also transforms him to a certain extent, right? அதே மாதிரி சூரரை போற்று, it's not hero's arc. As in, like, it is technically his arc, but there is a point where he has to ask his wife for money.
But that's
same, just like, but no. So the thing is, hero vulnerable காமிக்க கூடாது is a kind of ஒரு மாதிரி unwritten rule. So when people tell you that your films are not mainstream, I think that's where they're coming from. So இங்க கூட
அது மட்டும் இல்ல இப்போ நீங்க வந்து, if you take சூரரை போற்று is about an aviator. ஸோ எல்லாருமே என்ன கேட்ட கேள்வி என்னன்னா, ஒருத்தன் வந்து ஃப்ளைட்டை வாங்குறானோ விடுறானோ அதில் போகிறானோ, வாட் டு ஐ கேர்? ஸோ ஹவு டு ஐ மேக் அ காமன் மேன், த லீஸ்ட் காமன் டினாமினேட்டர் ஆஃப் தி ஆடியன்ஸ், root for this man? I say that's his struggle. That struggle can be anywhere. Struggle can be in your life. It's just a struggle that I'm taking. Like underdog story in Irdi Sutru, that is the core. So which I feel film producers, if they're like, if they're very smart, they'll see that in my film. And they'll stop saying like, okay, இது வந்து இங்கே தான் ஓடும், அங்கே தான் ஓடும், ஐயோ இது ஓடாமல் இருந்துச்சுன்னா எப்படி அப்படின்னு. So each time I'm being pushed to work under stress, under budgets, and each time because I myself am apologetic about what I'm choosing. ஐயோ இது ஓடுமா இல்லையா, நான் தெளிவாக இருப்பேன், பட் சுற்றி இதெல்லாம் வரும்போது
you start doubting yourself?
Not doubting so Irdi Sutru, I still remember I was really doubting myself, because that nasty actor who told my producer that, and my producer itself got worried. So appo vandu Manikandan's Kaka Mutta had come. So appo I was really poor. By poor I mean that I didn't have money to buy ticket also at that point of time. So அப்போ நான் வந்து ஒரே ஒரு டிக்கெட் எப்படியோ வாங்கிட்டு போயிட்டு எஸ்கேப்பில் உட்காந்து பார்க்கும்போது, I was telling myself, see, and this is some days before I finished my film copy, and பார்த்துட்டு சொல்கிறேன், இது 2 குழந்தைங்க, ரொமான்ஸ் கிடையாது, பாட்டு கிடையாது, ஆக்ஷனும் கிடையாது, எதுவுமே இல்லை, ஆனால் நல்லபடியாக ஓடுது. I think, Sudha, you have hope. Your film will do well. This is how I talk to myself during those dark phases. It's not self-doubt. At no point, see, that's why I think I'm still here. because I live in a vacuum. Everybody else is dissing you. You know, till the first teaser came of Irdi Sutru, nobody even cared. Till the first teaser of Surrai Potru came, nobody even cared. They didn't care. So somehow
Didn't care, na?
they didn't care, like, okay, what is this film? Ido multiplex padam pandranga.
Oh, like-
This kept coming to my ears every other day. And amma in a biopic. Biopic was a bad word at that time. It's post Surrai Potru biopic is not bad. You have an Amran coming after that, you know. So in that sense, I think that film broke grounds. But a biopic, it can be mainstream, it can be appreciated, loved, you know, and the madri. So what I'm trying to say is, it's always been, I don't doubt myself, because I'm living in that vacuum saying, oh, this is the best film, this is the best, this people will like. I mean, even beyond that, does she like it? Do I like it? Am I being honest? Is this me? If this was me, would I be this way? Yes. Surrai Potru is my story in that sense. You know, you get hit, you don't give up. And at the end of it all, you succeed. That will be probably a trope in all my films. It's going to be very difficult to say a person after doing all that is going to lose. I don't want to do that. I'm a eternally sunshine girl. So I like cinema like that. But that doesn't mean that I don't like other people making that. I'm
You
huge.
did Bala kitta work panninga, so
Ama.
that's
No, but with Bala, I think I was just a creative producer on that film.
Right.
So I really didn't, I don't think I went down his
Okay.
dark path. No, he's just too dark for me. Yeah.
But when these doubts happen and you kind of conquer. Like, so with Parasakthi, before we begin talking about Parasakthi, I want to tell you one thing. The padatoda stills or like when the trailer came out, teaser came out, one thing I told Milind that ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு அப்புறம் ஒரு சினிமா பார்க்குற மாதிரி something is there. Things look staged. There's a color palette. The lighting looks very specific and composed. Because we are also now இப்போ ஒரு age of reality மாதிரி வந்துட்டோம். Like everything should be a little real அந்த மாதிரி, which is, but you can this look like அந்த realness ஓட ஒரு certain glamour. Because when I say glamour, I mean it in a good way, because sometimes when you go and sit on a big screen, you want to see a certain aesthetic.
Yeah.
அது இந்த படத்துல ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு அப்புறம் I felt I was seeing it on the big screen. And I was like, wow, okay, I really want to watch this film.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I think எனக்கு வந்து, you know, doing a period film is a dream for me. Like I have a bucket list. Adula one tick is period film. In fact, I wanted to do a period film love story. There were two other stories that I had, and I'll do them sometime in the future maybe, but now I'm over period. அது என்னன்னா அந்த ஒரு that nostalgia. Like for example, even when I watched Madras Patnam பார்க்கும்போது, எனக்கு அப்போ பார்க்கும்போது I remember நான் மாயாஜாலில் பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தேன், first day, first show, and people were screaming and hooting, not for hero hitting another villain, or not for anything else, not for a song, no. Buckingham Canal காட்டும்போது, Spencer's building காட்டும்போது, you know, everybody was like that nostalgia, and they were like cheering like crazy. எனக்கு அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு உலகத்தை கிரியேட் பண்ணணும், ஒரு வேர்ல்டு கிரியேட் பண்ணணும்ட்டு தான் ஆரம்பிச்ச படம் இது. It had all that, it gave me all of that satisfaction. 50s through to 60s, we had everything. And என்னன்னா எனக்கு sets பெருசா பிடிக்காது. Generally, I don't like to work in sets. It kind of, I feel insecure in those sets, I don't know why. And so I was chasing period locations. So நாங்கள் நிறைய இடங்களுக்கு போனோம், several locations. That's what Raviki keeps saying, you know. He says, எப்பா நீ எங்கெங்கெல்லாம் எங்களை கூட்டிகிட்டு போகிற அப்படின்னு. There were times when he used to say, இது செட்டு போட்டு பண்ணலாமே சென்னையில். I said, no. That the patina of the walls, the patina of the wood, and those tall ceilings and those everything, all that is a given. So all you have to do is dress it up. And of course, do a little bit of maramat, because it's supposed to be 65, and 65 la building is not run down. Now, in India, all period buildings, mostly they run down, except for a few. So we went chasing those locations, and that gave the authenticity. Like we found little pockets of untouched 65, and we used that.
So in the padathla, you know, it's the anti-Hindi imposition era. In the kada vandu, it's come from somebody else to you.
This not the story, the concept. Okay. The concept saying Madhimaran, he's Vetrimaran's assistant, a good friend of mine, and GV's. He had made Selfie with GV. ஸோ அப்போ இந்த கோவிட் இருக்கும்போது லைக் வாட் டு யூ டூ வித் யுவர் லைஃப் மாதிரி உட்காந்துட்டு இருக்கும்போது ஜிவி வாஸ் லைக் introducing the two of us, saying, you know, he has some beautiful ideas. Y'all can just jam. I was writing an army subject at that point of time, and I was going nowhere with it. In the sense, like, I was not happy. I had done some 25 drafts. I was not happy with so many writers. Then I thought, you know, Madhi vechittu namba eludhalam idu appadinu. So Madhikku vandu and the subject pudichirundhathu. I gave it to him, but before anything, he said, if I have something, will you be interested in doing it? I said yes. Then he told me one subject, which I loved, but that was very controversial. So I said, okay, fine, let's not do this. Then he came up with this. He said, neenga pannalana na pannuven. Would you be interested in this? And then he told me probably the first scene, the way he saw it, which is not the first scene in the film now, but that was extraordinary. And I said, okay. And then I started reading up about it. All I knew was 1965 இந்த மாதிரி நடந்துச்சு, நம்மளுக்கு வந்து ஆல்வேஸ் இந்த மொழி போர் நடந்துட்டு இருந்துச்சு, we were always fighting Hindi imposition, all of that I knew, but I didn't know it this deep. So R. Ramasamy Ayya's books, you know, so many books, so many things. Appo on the COVID, so you can't even get books easily. So I was sourcing from where, however, some person ஊர்ல வந்து ஒருத்தர் வந்து அந்த புக் வச்சிருந்தா அது குரியர்ல அமிச்சு அதை வந்து உட்காந்து சானிடைசர் வச்சு க்ளீன் பண்ணி, அப்போ we were such muckers, no? So அதெல்லாம் க்ளீன் பண்ணி then I'll be reading it, you know. அப்படி ஆரம்பிச்சது. Madhi started writing it, but he couldn't finish it. A, because Selfie came for release suddenly. Then B, he wanted to start his next film. So we said, okay, fine, we'll part ways. And just he left me with the concept. That's all. Concept and the character names is basically what is contributed to it. And the rest of the incidents and events are all real.
So, real or fictional? That's another thing I wanted to ask you. So, like, obviously, backdrop is real. The period is real, backdrop is real. But things in it, what do you...
Several things are real. So what happens, no, Baddy, like I've said this before, when you're making a biopic, supposedly like Gopinath's Surre Potra, you know that the flight was, the first flight that was going to take off, it caught fire. Aduve bad omen in our society. Bad omen, oh my God, how will this airline take off? அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதுக்கு இன்னும் கூட நான் ட்ராமா சேர்க்கணும் and people feel பண்ணணும். And always it's easier to simplify complex emotions into black and white. இவன் வில்லன், இவன் எரிச்சிட்டான், இவனுக்கு வந்து நஷ்டம், அந்த மாதிரி. That was not the villain who had done it. I had brought that in. Same way in this film, to dramatize, to heighten the drama, to heighten this thing, certain elements will be added. But it cannot be refuted that this many deaths happened, these incidents happened, this much sacrifice happened, this much fight happened, and it was a student movement. Probably one of the earliest, you know, in the world. Right. Of course, not the ones that happened in Harvard or those were happening since 1800s.
Like Paris and all that.
1800s. Paris was, I think...
late 60s.
Yeah, 68, I think. I think I said 69. No, I think it's 68. But this was a student movement. What was exciting about this backdrop was, it was not a political movement. It really was not. Perhaps it started as that. But it went way beyond the hands of the politicians. Nobody could stop this force. Nobody could stop this force because the force felt their world is going to change. And for the worse. And then, as for any revolution, it started with the youth, and it started with them and ended with them. That excited me so much. It's just what do you say? It's just awaiting to be told, Madri ஒரு கதை.
ஞாபகம் இருக்கா தெரியல உனக்கு, but long back you told me I want to be a பேரரசு.
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember you telling me? Tell me why.
So at that point of time, all I wanted to be was mainstream cinema successful. அது என்னன்னு தெரியல, it's a chip on my shoulder that happened. So I used to like cinema like that. As you know, I'm a huge Vijay fan. So அவரோட படங்கள் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஷோ போயிட்டு எனக்கு விசில் அடிக்க தெரியாது, ஸோ ஒரு 3 பேரை கூட்டிகிட்டு போயிட்டு அவங்கள இங்கே அடிங்க விசில் அடிங்க அந்த மாதிரி பார்த்தா ஒரு கேண்டிடேட் I am. So I loved that kind of cinema. But at the same time, I loved Mani sir's kind of cinema as well. So I'm caught in one confusion. ஸோ ஏதோ ஒரு கன்ஃபியூஷனில் துரோகி வந்து அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இந்த பக்கமும் போகாமல் அந்த பக்கமும் போகாமல் இட் வாஸ் லைக் ஒன் கான்ட்ரடிக்டரி டோன். மை வாய்ஸ் வாஸ் நாட் தேர். voice was all jumbled. So I think I left that behind, and I had a talk with Manisa after the first film's release and all that. Our path, our sonnadu, he said, you know, your reel is so good. There are so many people to do the other thing. Why don't you just do this, because your reel is so good? Because there were pockets of reel in Drohi that he really liked. So then I sat, did a rethink. Like I said, Walt Disney said, you need that one good failure to make you think and not fall later on. I think that was that.
So you mentioned that big Vijay fan, saw all his films. Now when your film, now this is like what periya idu illa right now, it's like your film is like it's become more than just Sudha Kongara, Sivakarthikeyan, Ravi Mohan இவங்கெல்லாம் நடிச்ச ஒரு படம் வருதுங்கிறத விட இந்த படத்துக்கு எதிர்ப்பா வருது அந்த மாதிரி the conversation has gone beyond something. இந்த மாதிரி when something spirals out of control and becomes a narrative, பொங்கலுக்கு யார் வர போறாங்க, என்ன ஆக போகுது, இதுவா இதுவா தியேட்டர் this thing that thing, distributors இன்டர்வியூ பண்றாங்க, என்ன படம், something. How does that how do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like to live in a vacuum. So for me, என் படம் should get the best date. என் படம் ஓடணும், என் படம் காசு பண்ணணும், என் முதலாளிக்கு நான் காசு பண்ணி கொடுக்கணும். Every time my producer wins, I am giving a chance to 50 other directors. Producer loses, I lose. So I'm very, very, what do you say? I'm very clear on that. The economics have to work. So my last film didn't release in theatres. And that was quite a tragic thing for me.
Last two films, la?
Two films, yeah. Sarfira released in theatres,
Yes, right,
but
right,
released
right.
very bad release. And the other one didn't even release in theatre. So again, it's like making me very sad that I felt that was a theatrical experience. Adu nadakada bodu, this is a chance, this is the time. You won't believe it. Even when I wanted to make contracts, I'm putting contracts saying that this will release theatrically, not OTT. Adu pottadan, that was like a deal breaker. Because that was such a hurt for me.
Yeah, it destroyed you. I remember that time.
Yeah, I was very, very, very hurt because எனக்கு collective experience. Film is a collective experience. For me, to do Surrai Potru, the natural tonality of that film is social network. அது பண்றதுக்கு எனக்கு 2 மாசம், நான் எழுதுறதுக்கு 3 மாசம், ஷூட் பண்றதுக்கு probably nothing, no time. I would have done that. But to open it out to theatres, to make it a theatrical film, I had to work so hard. I did 10 years of work on that script. So, அப்போ அது போயிட்டு ஓடிடியில் உட்காந்துட்டு இருக்கும்போது, of course, the circumstances were such. I'm not blaming anybody for it. Really, I really, I'm beyond all that. But I cursed myself, my fate, and I said, Sudha, you can't let this happen to you once again. அப்படி வந்தது தான் Parasakthi. So now, if I'm releasing with somebody else, பொங்கலுக்கு down, I think down the 100 years of cinema or whatever, lots of films have released. Because people go to the theatres. 3 films, 4 films, it's great. It's a pandigai. For them, it's a festival. So, I don't see it as a problem. I feel there is space for so many films on that particular date. If it was any other date, I mean, it is not wise. Economics doesn't make sense for anybody. So, I was fine, and we announced it right on top, saying that Pongal, like I was telling you, I was only working towards Pongal release, nadula 3 maasam, shooting illa, something and all went wrong, everything went wrong, but still we were targeting Pongal, you know, because and it was a passionate thing for me. Na Pongalku varano, because enakku nalla date veno. After that, there were no dates. That's what happened, like, and it was an expensive film. So you need a festival date.
Parasakthi.
Yes,
Yeah.
Parasakthi is expensive, no doubt about it. And it can come only on a festival date and stuff like that. When we were supposed to come initially for Diwali, then Vijay's film was happening for Diwali, and so we said, okay, Pongal, and we fixed
As in,
all that.
in the padam, Jananayagan.
Yeah.
It was happening for Diwali. Yeah.
And then they pushed it to Pongal. Then we said, okay, fine, let's push it. I mean, we couldn't push beyond that. See, at the end of the day, a film has to make money. Now, by me making money, nobody else is going to lose money. He's the biggest star in the country, really. So, the other day, Alphonse Roy, the cameraman of Drohi, he messaged me. He's saying from being a hardcore Vijay fan to releasing along with him, what a journey. So, to me, I only see it like that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful feeling that நானே FDFS அந்த படம் போய் பார்ப்பேனே.
Yeah, but I just want to tell you how proud I am of you in the sense that it's not easy to be a director in India, especially in certain industries, Tamil, Telugu, etc., where there's a lot of uh, set thoughts on இதுதான் இந்த மாதிரி தான் படம் பண்ணணும் இந்த மாதிரி தான் இருக்கணும் whatever it is. So I hate to play this woman card right now, but for you to do this and be this top director working with stars like Sivakarthikeyan and Surya and all that, that's amazing. That's just amazing that you've reached this position.
Yeah.
Does it feel like an achievement?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I feel is an achievement.
Right.
Because, like I said, maybe I've just made 4 films or 2 films or 3 films or how many other films that I've made. But it feels like I've made 100 films. It feels like I've traveled those 25 years to tick off box after box after box after box, you know. Because right from day zero, they budgets sari, padamum sari. I don't know if anybody feels. I think there I have to give credit to my first producer, Mano. She was a lady too, and this was an action, one kind of a non female directed film, and she was like, she loves films like that. So both of us together went ahead, 2 girls, very young. We just went and made that film. So அதுக்கப்புறமா I want, so like I said, for each film I have one tick mark. So for my next film it was like, it needs to work at the box office. For my next film it needs to make this much at the box office. For my this film it needs to release in theaters and it needs to make this much.
So what is your tick mark for Parasakthi?
Parasakthi, it needs to make lots of money for my producer, and I shouldn't have compromised in visuals or story or anything, and I haven't. Even with the, you know, I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about this, but if I'm not supposed to, you can cut it off. But even with the censor board, when we went for the revising committee, there was this censor board head who was so democratic, who was so fair, and
But this is, why shouldn't we talk about this? This is part of the process.
yeah, it is. But I mean, one tends to think the censor board is like terrible, they're this, they're that. They were not really. The questions they had, the reservations they had were pretty, I would say, fair. And the way they've allowed the film to live, breathe, is very fair. Because he's a filmmaker himself. So he was great to me. And I actually stood up at the end of it all and I said, thank you for being so democratic. I'm a big believer of democracy. எனக்கு அந்த டெமோக்ரஸி இல்லைன்னா தான் I become very agitated. I think my entire fight, my entire life has been about that.
So, near the model film வந்து Mitra My Friend, right? That's a very women-centric film, and I'm putting all this in quotes because இதில் எதுவுமே இது கிடையாது, but it's considered that, right? So, ஒரு டைமில் வந்து when women came to make movies, they made what was called sensitive, soft, women-centric or whatever it is, அந்த மாதிரி movies. Do you think the fact that you've become this heavyweight has to do with the fact that you moved away from that genre and said, I'm going to make stories of men and women in a strong mainstream way and not make these so-called sensitive films? Do you think that's why you're here?
See, strong mainstream way I don't agree with, because I think women making films like that are equally strong, more strong. But to me,
I'm talking about in terms of also appealing to a wide audience.
அது மட்டும்தான். Appealing to a wide audience has always been my thing.
Right.
Even if you ask Mani sir, he'll say, like initially I had gone to ஒரு story எழுதிட்டு, Mani sir நான் இதை பண்ண போறேன். He heard it, he said, it's very nice, but this is not you. You're so commercial in your head, you'll not like the outcome of this, chuck it. So I am that. And
did you make that film?
No, I never did. And I've thrown it also long back.
So this was the very hardcore commercial film?
Which one? The one that I threw?
The one that you showed Mani sir?
No, that was not commercial.
Oh, okay.
It was one sweet little story and very, I don't know what it was. And he said, "Idu odadu, knowing you, odada padan, pudikadu." So that kind of thing. From the beginning, I've always seen Godfather is my favorite film.
Right.
So Love Story is also my favorite film. But you know what, Baddy? I think it's your life experiences. I am like this. I am very emotional. I cry at the drop of a hat. I believe in goodness. I believe in goodness of humanity. Even till today, after 25 years also, when somebody is doing rubbish to you and stabbing you in the back, I still question, why are they doing this? Then another friend, Krish, once told me, are you bloody mad? Are you stupid? You've been here for 25 years. Why the hell? He's another filmmaker. Why the hell don't you see that coming? You know? So, I don't know. Yeah.
What is the? Did you answer the question? I think so.
Which is?
Which was like, do you think that you're here because you chose to follow this path?
Yeah, I chose to follow this path. I
Right.
wanted this. And it was not to prove anything to anybody. Maybe initially it started off as that, but it's no longer so because I really don't have to prove anything to anybody. It's just that I chose this path. I knew this was going to be difficult. I stuck to it. And it can be done by anybody if you
Sure.
stick to it.
Right. So what I'm saying is, supposing tomorrow, see, for example, with Maniratnam, he makes Ponniyin Selvan, big movies like that. On the other hand, he makes Okay Kanmani, whatever. You know, I'm not saying big, small, andha mari solla, but I'm talking in terms of like scale and other things. Would you be okay doing like that kind of a small romance?
Yeah.
Which is like a, you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't have some huge hero type thing
Yeah.
and all. Andha mari.
So I remember taking one romance to, I remember just before this film, DQ. I'm like, Dulkar, yeah, my film is not happening. I have a small love story. Let's do this film. I'm telling him the story. He's excited. I'm excited. The only thing he said was, how is this small? It's not small. Small like somehow it's a visually, they're very opened up, those films. So then it becomes expensive. It had the ocean, it had the water, it had 2 countries. So, and it was a love story. Like,
So the logic is, ஒரு certain ஒரு love story, let's say we're making a pure love story, அதுக்கு ஒரு certain budget மேல அது போக முடியாது.
Maybe.
Is that what it is?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. But with when action comes in,
Yeah.
the budget goes up.
Yeah. The budget also goes up.
No, but you will also be given a bigger budget.
You're given bigger budget because they're shooting like crazy. The stunt people are taking so much, making, you know, it's so expensive to shoot stunts.
Understand that.
One. Second, it opens out the film to a larger audience.
Right.
There's no two ways about
the producer is saying, now
Yes.
உனக்கு நிறைய பணம் தரேன்.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So tell me, இப்போ வந்து Sivakarthikeyan is a very, very modern day actor. அவர் வந்து டிவியில் ஆரம்பிச்சு, he's come to the success level that he is right now. To make him a 60s person, what did you have to do?
I think நம்ம எல்லார் வீட்லயும் there is one tata, party. He knows the world. He is a small town boy. At the heart of it, even till today, he's a small town boy. So it was not very difficult. The emotions are universal, Baddy. Be it 65 or be it today.
No, that I know.
No?
But
so
in terms of, like, for example,
the look,
acting.
Yeah, look vandu romba easy. I have Purnima, I have Serena, I have people.
Yeah, your costume people.
Costume people who like work. We work on concepts. Our evlo sketches na avlo sketches பண்ணுவா. So like we try at least a minimum of 7 looks for each person. Like if it's not coming together. அப்படி try பண்ணி we cracked something. I was like showing him pictures from the period of all our relatives, our parents, this, that. And finally we came to something which just sat beautifully on him. I knew this was Cheyan, you know. So and madri, once he got into that costume, that is something that I'm realizing with all my actors, even with Venki. He used to tell me, you know, Guru padam பண்ணும்போது நான் அந்த இது போட்டுட்டு அந்த hoodie போட்டுட்டு அந்த skipping rope எடுத்துட்டு நான் வரும்போது when I put my beanie and I come, I feel like I'm a guru.
Yeah, that's the thing. No, costume is character.
Yes, yes. And so we also give the costumes well ahead. So they wear them. When they come for readings, they come in their costumes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So people like Ratnamala, she's very today and Gen Z, and I don't think she wears...
Leela, yeah.
Leela doesn't wear the kind of things that we gave her. So, and so Purnima kept telling her, you need to own this, just wear it, and just grow with it. So the girl was actually, for our film, she was actually sitting on the floor. She'll suddenly come, she'll be sitting there, and no, like, you know, oh, my sari should be perfect, nothing. She was like living in it. It just became that period. Like, you know, we wear the sari up high, longer blouses, we don't show too much of flesh, and there were so many things like the hair, and I wanted her to be slightly plumper. When she first came to me and I did the first screen test, she was nice and plump, and then she started losing weight, and I was like in shock before we went for film. Then again she had to put on weight. She did some 5, 6, 7 kilos. She was eating everything to put on weight. So those are things, because those days the girls were plumper. You know, things like that. They were just healthier, not plumper, healthier.
Yeah, healthier. Yeah, I mean, they had a certain look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to achieve that, we had to do that. But back then, perhaps the only actresses, very few actresses who were like very slim and skinny were like maybe Kanchana, you know. Otherwise, they were all healthier, and somehow you felt like this one can exist in your house kind of thing. They were so beautiful, like Savitri.
Yeah.
And I was really pushing towards Wahida Rahman and Savitri and all of that.
Right.
And we kind of worked on that look, yeah.
Right. So, when இது வந்து I want to know your நீங்க எப்படி ஒரு negotiator you're able to do that. I'm sorry, I'm doing this நீங்க நீ thing.
Knee
like
is fine.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm like something's happening. I don't know what. But see, when there is an actor that was supposed to do a film and that's no longer there, and you're calling another actor, and this one's a big star as well. How do you handle that situation in terms of not making them feel like you're getting somebody else's movie?
I think it's, I let them bring what they are to the table. So first we work with that. Character இருக்கும், pages எல்லாம் எழுதி இருக்கும், but it's really not the Bible, you know. So I tell them, do what makes you comfortable. Do what you would do. So I try pushing them as close as possible to the real character.
Right.
Like supposing Cherryல இருக்கிற ஒரு சில character is not Sivakarthikeyan, we dial that down. And something is very close to what he is, like the brothers and the bonding and the family. He's that man. So those we dial up and it comes so easily. So I think I work with the actor. First he does his bit and then I'm gently telling him, perhaps this is what this character would be. So we're moving away from Shiva. So அந்த மாதிரி we just negotiate. Finally at the end of the day it's comfort. Because if he's not comfortable on screen, then there's no point to the film at all. So he needs to be comfortable in his costume. That's very, very important. His hair, very, very important. But I remember for the song, the first song, we were waiting for almost 3 hours or 4 hours without shooting because the hair was just not sitting right. And he was not comfortable. So then because we're losing time, I said, we just come and he shot. But after lunch, he became peaceful because in lunch, he figured out what was wrong. So it's very important, yeah. It's very, very important that they feel comfortable in that
And
skin.
they own that role.
Ama.
Because like when you're writing for, like, see, Surya's here, Sivakarthikeyan is here, they each one has their own strengths
Yeah,
and
yeah,
weaknesses or whatever it
yeah.
is. As in what they do well, what audiences. So the thing is, when you're writing for one person, that's actually a great insight that the script keeps evolving so that இது ஃபிட்டா இது கொஞ்சம் ரொம்ப இந்த சைடு போச்சுனா அந்த சைடு you're bringing it and all that. So you're modifying the
Yeah, definitely we do that.
Right.
And definitely, like even if I write the same line and even if I write the same scene, I think how Surya would play it would be very different from how Shiva would play it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to at that point tell him do it like how Surya would do it or do it like how I envisioned it. No.
Right.
If this is coming out better than what I've envisioned, I am greedy. I take it and I say, wow, this guy is doing a great job. So that way, it was exciting to work with Atharva, exciting to work with this, with Ravi and with this guy because all three were bringing, they just breathed life into the characters.
You know, I don't know if I should say this, but எனக்கு எல்லார விடையும் I want to see what Ravi has brought to this film.
Oh man.
I don't know why, but அந்த ட்ரெய்லர் பார்க்கும்போது he seemed like the most interesting. Not everything is interesting, but somehow there's some spark that I saw that I want to see what this dude has done in this movie.
Yeah, because it is so against grain. He's never done that before.
Yeah.
Even in life, in real life, he's so gentle. He's so,
He comes across as a very sweet guy.
He is, and he's very gentle. So for him to do these things which are not very gentle and do nasty things, he had to dig really deep and to make it real. So அவருக்கு என்ன பண்ணோம்னா நாங்கள் வந்து we shot about 5-6 days with him for 3-4 days, 3-4 days, and then I had a schedule break. பாண்டியில் ஷூட் பண்ணிட்டு இங்கே வந்துட்டு நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்கெடியூலுக்கு we had a break. So அந்த 4 நாள் ஷூட் பண்ணது ஃபுல்லாக அந்த சீன்ஸை கட் பண்ணி my editor had cut the scenes, and then when he was performing, I had asked him to do it in 2 tenors. One in a high energy way and the other one is like intense and quiet. Because I said both are working. He was doing both so brilliantly. So then what did we do? I cut both the scenes in two different ways. In the take which cut panni, I said, Ravi, you're free. Are you free to come watch? He said, of course. And he came running from ECR and he watched it. And then he liked both. I liked both. So then he said, ma'am, it's your call. Let's see what you want to do with this. And he said, because I've never gone through this process where I've had the luxury of playing it differently and sitting with the director and with the editor and saying like which is doing better for the film. He's always about the film. Huh? He's going to be a fantastic director. He's a producer's son. So his intuitive what do you say? His intuitive grasp of a script so high. He's such a foreign film viewer and he's watched every film. Absolutely, it's fun talking to him about cinema. We are like discussing my next stories, his next stories, it's fun. I just loved working with him. And also so much trust, Baddy, so much trust. I haven't said this before. So இங்கே வந்து நாங்கள் கிளைமேக்ஸ் ஷூட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம். கிளைமேக்ஸும் ஓப்பனிங்கும் ஷூட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தோம். We had a huge train sequence happening.
Which on the trailer is like, yeah.
We had a huge train sequence happening. And bookல வந்து நான் ஸ்கிரிப்ட்ல எழுதுனது வந்து ஒன்று. Because you're living with that script for like some 5 years now. Yeah. 5 years. So I know exactly why I want the scene to be like that. நடந்துட்டு இருந்துச்சு. இங்கே வந்து எனக்கு வந்து மழை வருது, my set got destroyed and I had to crunch and shoot. So that is taken over. So நான் இவரை வச்சு நான் ஷூட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
You're talking about SK and Ravi?
SK and Ravi, and this was only Ravi's shoot.
Okay.
So Ravi வச்சு ஷூட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். I just finished shooting with SK and I sent him off and I was shooting with Ravi. And Master had designed it in a certain way and we shot it. The boy didn't ask me a single question. He probably asked my associate Arjun, is this what ma'am wants? Is this what ma'am wants? He said, yeah, ma'am wants this. So we shot it. I come back, we shot till early morning, 6 o'clock. I come back, I couldn't sleep. And I called Master and I said, Master, இது பண்ணக்கூடாது மாஸ்டர் அவரு, இது பண்ணக்கூடாது. Logically it is wrong. He's such an intelligent character in the film. அவர் இது பண்ணக்கூடாது. இது வந்து downright villain மாதிரி இருக்கு, டம்பா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. Master is like, ஆமா மேம். And then he said, I will do off the patch. So that day shoot, we kept that 1 hour or half an hour to do that one patch shot, And my associate went, he goes with the script, Chandni or Arjun go to give him the the scene dialogues. Pogumbodhu, he said, sir, we are reshooting this today. He said, oh, why? He said, no, ma'am wants to reshoot this and this is what we'll be doing today. He said, oh, you're just taking an option and keeping, is it? He said, no, ma'am will be going with this. That's what she asked me to tell you. So he said, thank God. That felt like such a regular villain. So he knew. Yeah. He didn't question me. He did what I told him to do. The next day, I woke up, and I said, shit, I've done wrong. I've not gone by the script. And it's a blunder. It's a disaster. It was a disaster. Trust me, after you watch the film, I'll tell you. You'll know what I'm talking about. Mercifully, I had the opportunity to do that. So masters will ask me, ma'am, நீங்கள் நைட் ஃபுல்லாக தூங்காமல் இதை பற்றி யோசிச்சுட்டு இருந்தீங்களோ, எப்படி தானே கரெக்டு, எப்படி விட்டோம் நம்ம அப்படின்னு. மாஸ்டர் இஸ் ஃபேண்டாஸ்டிக். அவர் எல்லார் கேரக்டரும் தெரியும், எல்லா கதையும் தெரியும். To the DOP and all, he'll be explaining the scene and the mood. Something else. So
tell me, you have a script consultant, Dr. Professor D.A. Ramasamy அப்படின்ட்டு. Tell me, அவர் கரெக்டாக, like, how did you use him? என்ன கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணாரு?
ஐயோ, everything. In the sense like, he was a Porali. He was
in that?
Yes. He was in Majra College. He was a student leader. And he knows every one of them who fought in that time. He knows all of that. Then he was a Pachappan Kalluri student. He knows the way of life. He knows everything. And he has done 20 years research post that Poratam to put together 2 huge volumes on Moripur, on Hindi imposition, anti-Hindi imposition. I've read those books. He's a master. And then there are several incidents which are, of course, out there. They're like in the public domain, the history. Apart from doing that, when I sit with him and I talk to him, he is 80 years old. But the energy and the passion with which he talks, the movement, I felt like I was living there. And படத்துல ஒரு கேரக்டர் இருக்காப்ல, ஆராமசாமின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. So I went search for a person who looks like him. And he was so thrilled. he said இவ்வளோ தூரம் நீ மெனக்கட்டு என்ன மாதிரியே ஒருத்தரை வச்சு படத்தில் பண்ணியிருக்கேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவர் தான் வந்து ஒரு there is one particular thing that happens and he sends the telegram and that starts off the movement next, you know, the effect happens from there on. So he was the one who did that and that's there in my film. And then next வந்து அந்த காலத்தில் என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க, அந்த காலத்தில் எப்படி பேசுவீங்க, அந்த காலத்தில் என்ன ரொமான்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்கும், யூனோ, ஸோ டீச்சர்ஸ் கிட்ட எப்படி இருக்கும், உங்களுக்கு என்ன பொழுதுபோக்கு, என்ன சாப்பிடுவீங்க. ஸோ there was a line in the film that it's come in the trailer also, ரசம் சோறு. இதே அது இவன் வந்து ஒரு போராளி, இவனுக்கு வந்து லைக் ஹில் பி கிவன் ரசம் சாதம். ஸோ ஹீ வாஸ் டெல்லிங் மீ, நான் வந்து ஊர்லெல்லாம் போயிட்டு போராட்டம்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு வருவேன், வந்தால் ஒழுங்கா சாப்பாடு கூட இல்லை உனக்கு, ஆனால் நீ ஊரை தீர்த்து போறியாடா தோற அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு டயலாக் that I took from him. I took from him and several things he told us. நாங்கள் இப்படி பேச மாட்டோம், அப்போ அவங்க இவங்க. Now that pronounced Madurai accent was not existent at that time. Really, weirdly.
Oh, okay.
We didn't know that.
See, இப்போ சினிமால பார்க்கிறது that's not.
No, not at all. It's a new thing that's happening. Not just him, there was another professor, a professor. So we've talked to so many people of that time. And Priyadarshan, another assistant of mine, Madurai பையன், அவன் போயிட்டு நிறைய பேரை மீட் பண்ணிட்டு நீங்கள் எப்படி பேசுவீங்க, நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க, வாட் இஸ் யோர் பொழுதுபோக்கு, வாட் வுட் யூ டாக் அபவுட், யூனோ, ஆல் தோஸ் லைக் யூனோ த ஃப்ளோரா அண்ட் த ஃபானா ஆஃப் தட் டைம். ஸோ இட் வாஸ் அ டீப் ரீசர்ச் and the art director and all of us worked together. We did so many, I think nearly 2 years of pre-production on this because we were ready to shoot last year March and then posted again another 7-8 months once the new team came on board. So
This is, I'm really looking for your answer to this question because Ravi K is a favorite. I know you so well. So and the stylistic thing is a little different.
Very.
How was the first day of shoot and how did you gel?
I think first day was fine because we shot the announcement video and all that. Puja aniki we started shooting the announcement video and it was more like an ad. Though I've used all those shots there in the film. It's all scenes from the film. But it was not bad. Then we start shooting. I think we shot about 5-6 days. அதுக்கப்புறமா ஒரு நாள் வந்துட்டு இங்கே உட்காந்து, சுதா, ஐ திங்க் ஐ ஷுட் நாட் டூ திஸ் ஃபில்ம், நம்ம ரெண்டு பேருக்கும் செட்டே ஆகலை, யூ ஹாவ் அ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஸ்டைல், ஐ ஹாவ் அ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஸ்டைல், அப்படி அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு.
Pause.
Genuinely he said
according
that.
to him, what is his style and what is your style?
Okay. According to him, his style is, I should know exactly where to cut which shot so that on the shot la he will frame light for that shot alone. Okay. So if I do, my method is, I have always shot everything in masters. Always. And I will cut randomly from anywhere. I don't want to be restricted on the. Now, if you're going to tell me.
So you light a large area.
Light a large area. You should light a large area and then you shoot for any axis. Right? And for him, he feels in the shot வந்து இப்படி தானே இருக்கணும், இங்கே இது நீ வந்து இதுக்கு டைட்டு தானே போவே. So my editor also on this film, somewhere we kind of married on our two different thoughts, you know, and this is very different from my earlier film. My earlier film is like you shoot to capture the emotion and what you would think on paper will look great on a close-up. Sometimes it's so beautiful when it is a wide, and I don't have the mind span on the shoot to say in what it will be good. I just want to shoot everything I overshoot, but I'm not taking more number of days. I'm just overshooting because I'm extremely very efficient. We rehearse, we plan, we do our readings, and we go there and play the scene again and again from different things, you know, from different magnifications perhaps. But on this film, I've shot very economically in the sense like, okay, fine. So that was the argument. And one of the days was, I had to make my production schedule. I'm like that. I'm anal about that. And you're on the light pochi, he was saying. I said, no, but it's okay. Just shoot it. That ticked him off. He said, like, he came and he said, நீ அப்படி சொல்றியே, அது தவறா இருக்கே, அது அப்படி சொல்லக்கூடாதுல்ல, நீ அப்படி எப்படி சொல்லலாம். I said, sir, அன்றைக்கி அந்த ஷார்ட்டை முடிக்கணும், சரி நீங்கள் ஷூட் பண்ண மாட்டேன்னு சொன்னீங்க, அடுத்த நாள் தானே ஷூட் பண்ணோம், I will try to push, you push me back. So then it kind of settled into that. And he said something really beautiful, you know. He said, when he was shooting Dil Chahta Hai, and by then he was this huge cinematographer, and he goes and shoots with Farhan. And he says, I was struggling through the whole film to understand this boy's way of shooting, and I was resisting it. But he did what he did. And then he says it became that cult film. And he said, இந்த பொண்ணு கூடயும் அதே தானோ அப்படின்னு he's coming and telling me itself. And he's telling his associate, Mr. Rajaratnam also. இவ கூடயும் ஒரு பிரச்சனையா இருக்கு எனக்கு, பட் மேபி ஏதாவது டிஃப்ரெண்டா ஏதாவது வருமா, சரி ஓகே அப்படின்னு he surrendered. I surrender. Why he wants it in a particular way, I do. And it's nothing. I want my functional shots to look good.
Right.
He wants to do beautiful shots. So we transact, and finally at the end of the day we're good.
Right. For example, like in Irudhi Sutru and இப்போ இதுல கூட சூரரை போற்று, there is some rawness in the maybe handheld energy in that. இதுல இருக்காது.
Handheld were required.
Okay.
But mostly we did away with handheld. We had gimbal.
Oh.
So everything is far smoother.
Oh.
Everything is more classic.
So are you kind of trying to say அந்த அப்ப எடுத்த படம் மாதிரி you want to take that? Was that also a consideration?
No, not really. I didn't want to. I was fed up of. See, those films required handheld because I wanted every frame to be.
For example, if you watch Vincent Master's work with Sridhar, there are very, very smooth, அப்படியே ஆயில் போட்ட மாதிரி ஒரு camera movements, நெஞ்சில் ஒரு ஆலயம் and all those movies. I mean, I'm asking, did you want to emulate that and கேட்குறேன்?
See, what we wanted to emulate, like when we were sitting and we were talking styles and everything, somewhere after beating together on lots of styles, he was showing me stuff, I was showing him stuff, and I was basically I show my DOPs what I don't want, what I don't like. That's where it all starts off from. Because it's easier for me to say what I don't want than to say what I want, because I myself am searching for it. Then he showed me stuff, I showed him stuff, and then we decided, see, period cinema, period is very little movement. Just frames and shots, like you take any great...
And everything is lit and
it's lit and it's so beautiful. Everything is there and very little movement. Now we brought a mad modern energy to period by using a lot of movement. So we did the gimbal, we did the jib, we did track, trolley, dolly. Of course, those are smooth movements, but we did. And where it had to be held by hand, it was. But it was, that doesn't disturb the overall style, which is classic.
Right.
Yeah. But a lot of thought went into it and a lot of arguments, but then we settled at one route.
If I ask you, do you have a favorite film of yours? Will you be able to answer?
I would say all along, till now, in all the work that I've done, which I really don't think is any good, I like Thangam. It's very close to my heart. And I really like Thangam. That perhaps if I say I'm proud of something, it's Thangam. Because it changed my life. It changed the way I looked at transgenders. Because it really did. It made me go deeper, examine life and everything. And that
Change your life, Naipuri?
I became more sensitive.
I
I became aware, sensitive, you know. I understood what they are. And met with lots of them. And I love them. And they're so beautiful. And work so hard to please. Because they just, you know, it's so sad, the amount of effort. It's like, you know, supposing there is a male assistant director and there's a female assistant director. You are working doubly hard and you're saying like, okay, today, I have to take care of my child, or I have to do this, or I have my periods, or I have this. You don't let that come in the way of this thing, because you're going to say, idhukku dhaan indha pombalangala edukala. That was the era in which I joined cinema.
Yeah.
Right?
Is it better now?
Should be. Like at least on my sets, what Purnima always says and what all of them say is, at least there's a loo for women. They never used to be that. We really need a loo for ourselves. Because genuinely, many a time men don't know how to aim. And it's disgusting. So, these are things that are given on my set. And if there is a problem for a girl and she comes to me, it will always be her versus anybody else. I will always take her side. Because, and I'm not going to judge her if she says she's unwell and she doesn't come. If she says she can come, they can come to me, they can tell me this is how it is. I am very considerate to men and women. But in other cases, they're just not so considerate to women, you know. Manisa was very considerate, But even then, we didn't have caravans or anything like that. The caravan was such a luxury at that point of time. So mercifully for me, Maddie was my. I just became good friends with Maddie. So I used to use his caravan. As women.
இதென்ன ஆயுதெடுத்தா?
ஆயுதெழுத்துல. So அந்த மாதிரி எப்படியோ I managed. Gurula I managed. Guruliyu Maddie was there. So I somehow managed. And Karthi was working with me, Karthik. And he was a very understanding brother kind of a thing, because he's got women in his house. So he knew when I had to go to the washroom, and then he had to hold on to the continuity, take the continuity for me. And, especially when you have your periods and all that, you're hurting so badly. So you go and you can't come back immediately. And we were shooting in Pollachi. Pollachila and the Devar Magan weekly shoot pannittu irundom. Where do you go? You go out into the fields. It was so traumatic, but he understood. So then you have these lovely little angels around. So I survived. But today, I think that should not even be a problem.
The question, yeah.
Yeah, not a question, not a problem. If you're not progressing there, what progress are we talking about?
So you brought certain things from the people you trained under. இப்போ வந்து you're sending out a batch of people to make their own films. Like இப்போ கீர்த்திசன் பற்றி பேசணும் அந்த மாதிரி. What do you think Sudha Kongara has given this bunch of people, men or women, who are going out to be directors and other things?
This boy Kirti would always say, and then all my ADs would say, we're able to sit here and talk about everything. Without feeling like, okay, somebody is, telling me I can't delve into this. I can't argue with the director. That we have a free for all, We talk politics, we talk everything under the sun. We talk feminism, we talk this, we talk that, we talk rights. And they're able to do it in a free space. That doesn't always happen, is what he was telling me. So he says, all this you take for granted. Like, you don't have to, as long as you're good at your work, you don't even have to call me ma'am. You don't even have to stand. You don't have to do all that nonsense. That Mani sir itself used to say, call me Mani. I'm like, how do you call him Mani? And he used to say, and when he used to stand up, he said, why are you standing up? Sit. Don't you have any sense? So I said, no, all the others are standing up. They don't have sense. Don't you have sense? So then I started sitting when he came into a room and not getting up. And then we established that as a pattern. These are small, small things, Baddy, but they go a long way in making an ecosystem right, an ecosystem democratic. In democracy, I think, is where you flourish. All my ADs, they're damn good. In the sense, like, I know they're going to make great films after this. Because they are able to sit here and they're able to tell me, this is crap, that's crap. At the writing stage, at the editing stage, post-edit, they're able to say, I don't like it. Now, it's very difficult for a filmmaker to accept it. You know why? More than anything else, இப்போ அதில் உண்மை இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், அதில் உண்மை இருந்துச்சுன்னா நான் ஃபிகர் அவுட் பண்ணணும். ஓஹோ, இதை வந்து மாற்றுறதுக்கு இதை பண்ணணும்னா இதை பண்ணணும், அது வேலை. ஐயோ, I thought the film was finished. Now I have to sit and redo it. So, but that democracy, I think that's what I'm trying to teach them. I'm trying to teach them, don't write women badly. I don't know if I've succeeded because I haven't seen Dude. But I really don't know. But because those are the arguments we have. Like when I'm giving importance to a female character, they're always saying like a hero ke vela illa, heroine ke ella vela irukku. I really don't understand that. நீங்க actually உட்கார்ந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா the heroine would have shot only 20 days. Hero would have shot 80 days or 70 days. How this girl is having more? It's just that she's visible, she has a voice, and she's not a puppet.
Yeah.
And like, seriously, for me, I sit, I do the RIS test, I do the Bechdel test in my mind. Like, am I getting Islamophobic? Am I passing the Bechdel test? So I do all of that. So all that, I think my team, my ADs are picking up on all of that. I don't think they will write a woman badly.
Right.
At least that much.
So all the best for Parasakthi.
Thank you.
As always. And really look forward to the film. But before I leave you, அடுத்தது என்ன?
So, Amma, I have so many pulling me in different directions. But at one point, it will settle. Like, before this film, I was going to do something else. Then somehow, once this came into my life, I couldn't look beyond this. And the madri nadakkum. Like, right now, I have Veta Naigal, I have another love story, and I have Anjali Menon is writing something for me. I genuinely want to go do Anjali's film now, what she writes. It's a love story. and I love the way she writes. It's gentle.
As just a writer.
Just as a
She's
writer.
a writer for you.
She's a writer for me. And she's gentler, quieter. It's not as frenetic as my filmmaking is. I just want to go see if I'm able to do something there. Then there's another Malayalam writer who's written trance, and he has a beautiful coming of age story for a man. It's so beautiful, it's so powerful. And then, of course, I have some really big ones. So I don't know where I go. Something will call.
Something will call.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Thank you, Baddy.
Bye.
Thank you.
Mritu towels from Ramraj, premium cotton and bamboo towels. Super soft, super absorbent.
டார்லிங் சோலார் 20,500 முன்பணத்தில் இப்பொழுது சோலார் மூலம் இலவச மின்சாரம். This festive season, travel the world with Grand Royal Tours.